Alright, hello again, Uncle Roddus here. This is my third video, breaking these up today just to make them a bit shorter. You can just watch them in short bursts because I have so much vinyl, it's ridiculous. Okay, so carrying on from what I said in my last video, from the scrap iron and copper and other things that I took into town over the last week, which was 3 trips. And each trip I would take the money and go to the record shop, much to my partner's disgust. So there's oh yeah, this is from yesterday. So the trip into town yesterday, I'd spotted these the other day and decided I'd quite like to get my hands on them. So this is a compilation from Mr. Coleman Hawkins. Now I haven't heard much of his music or I know of him before this. I didn't really look at this as closely as I should have, because I was looking at so I'm trying to find some dates, and there were some dates actually, but let me see if I can figure this out. 1, 2. So the first 2 albums are really early stuff actually. So there's a Bluebird. This is from Bluebird Records. It's a double album. Really early stuff. So it's sort of big band swing type music from 1939, 1940, and then it jumps to 46 and 47. I didn't actually spot that. What I actually spotted was the dates from 1956. So on the second record, sides 3 and 4, in 1956. So that was the stuff I was more interested in, to be honest. Although my partner really likes the early stuff, she's into that sort of stuff more than I am. Haven't actually got around to playing the second side album yet, so be interesting to see. But that, yeah, I mean, and actually side 4, the band is rather large. It's the biggest band of the whole lot of them actually. So yeah, I'm not familiar with it, but I picked it up. I thought, let's have a look at it, have a listen. That's cool. So that was one of the ones that I grabbed, and then the other one yesterday. Where is it? At the bottom of the pile was this one here. Mr. Felonious Monk. So this is a prestige compilation, or sort of like a 2-4 reissue from 1972, and it reissues some recording. I don't know if they were albums or what stories, but there's 2 recordings here a bunch of recordings here from 1952, 53, 54, up to 54. Actually, that's right. Well, that's what it is. So. I'm not really sure. I haven't read enough of this to say what they were released on originally, but this is I think they did a lot of these. Prestige did a bunch of these. I know I've got an Eric Dolphy one that's very similar situation, so a bunch of earlier things reissued or issued out, whether they've been issued or before. I actually haven't even listened to that yet. So those 2 are picked up from the main record shop in town, and then I'd already been to one record shop, small record shop, which is only open mainly on the weekends, and I showed those in the last video, which was the Chris Knox and Tall Dwarfs I picked up. Then I went to the other branch that they had, Penny Lane Heaven, the mall at the Eastgate, and was looking for them. There's a couple of records that were interested in me, and anyway, but I spotted this one, and I picked up a Jade Warrior album before, and I really liked it, and this one's pretty cool. They had 2 Jade Warriors ones there. They had a later one from 1978, but I ended up picking up this one because it's from 1975. I always tend to go with the earlier stuff because I find these bands tend to mellow out a bit. Yeah, so this is good. I've had a listen to it. It's pretty impressive. The only problem is it's got a manufacturing defect on the start of it, and the first probably 10 minutes, not 10 minutes, probably the first 5 minutes on both sides, there's a bit of a crackle and a hiss as the record goes around, and unfortunately because some of the music's quite quiet, it sticks out quite badly. So I'm not sure. I'm thinking whether I will take that back to the shop or not. So last week, or earlier in the week, for the first bunch of scrap I took into the shop, on the 2 trips I've got 2 lots of records here, so I'll show these. This one here is a band called Brownstone. This is the only album self-titled from something like 1973. There it is, 73, on Playboy Records, which is pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen anything on Playboy Records. If you see that, there's the Playboy Bunny symbol in there. It's pretty cool. This is a bluesy rock, sort of a blues rock band. I think they're from Canada, from originally. This was actually, I'd actually come across this on a blog several years ago, and had reviewed it on my blog, and I really liked it, and it was on my Discogs want list, and I was not quite pleased to see that turn up down there, so that was cool. This one here was a pretty cheap bargain. I picked this up. This is a double album I picked up for $10 actually. I mean, I don't know why the Gene Ponty stuff doesn't seem to have big price tags on it around here, although he does seem pretty popular in the VC. I do see a lot of his records. But what I liked about this one was basically this. I knew I originally I did have a couple of Gene Ponty albums many years ago. The reason I had heard of him, of course, was because he played with Frank Zappa back in the late 60s, and turned out that this is like a double album again of 2 sets of recordings that I'm assuming, or definitely the first album has been was a reissue of an album that was released in the early 70s, and then I'm not sure, I haven't read it all through the liner notes, but the second one was something similar. But the first album is the one that captures my attention because he's playing with a bunch of, well, Frank Zappa basically produced the recordings. He plays on one of the, plays guitars on one of the tracks. There's a bunch of Zappa songs: King Kong, Idiot Bastard Son, 20 Small Cigars, How Would You Like to Have a Head Like That, and America Drinks and Go Home. But there's also a track called Music for Electric Violin and Low Budget Orchestra, which is on side 2. Now that's like a 17-minute piece which is credited to Gene Ponty, but they're using melodies and things from some Zappa music which I recognised. So that's the piece that really caught my attention on this album, and it's pretty cool. I really like that. It sounds a wee bit more elevator music as opposed to Zappa's originals, but it's still pretty cool because it's Zappa and his music's so cool. It's so good. So yeah, that was a good score. I'm pleased about that. I'm really happy to have that. And I only paid $10 for it, so I can't complain about it. Picked this one up now. I think someone in the VC, and it might have been James Buttery. Did you show a bunch of Herbie Mann records? I don't know. It's a pretty out of it cover actually, because it opens up and there's this almost semi-pornographic picture in the middle there, which is a kind of a felt stick-on. So it's a pretty cool cover. 1972. I think they're all covers. I haven't given it a lot of attention just yet, but the first track, Push Push, is really, really cool. The title track is really cool. It's really funky. Yeah, flute's not my favourite item, instrument, and I think some of his music is a bit, a bit more elevator type jazz. But there's some pretty funky stuff on here. Yeah, there's a cover of What's Going On. I'm not sure, I don't recognise the tracks, the rest of them. Oh, there's a Ray Charles song there, yeah. So most of it's covers. But yeah, it actually wasn't too bad. That's an American issue. The other one that really caught my eye, sorry about this if you're offended by a bit of rudeness, but this is what's on the cover of this one. This is a chest, well, partly caught my eye was the fact that it's a Chess Jazz Masters series. I think it was in 1976, at least. So these are 2 albums that were, these are reissues of albums. The liner notes is 1976. So Oliver Nelson, I hadn't really heard of him, and it's a fairly big band by the sound of it. I've only listened to it once so far. It's a fairly big band thing, but I knew Lou Donaldson, and both recordings are from 1964. Yeah, both recordings from 1964. Oh yeah, originally the Rough House Blues was the album from Lou Donaldson, originally released, and Fantabulous is the album from Oliver Nelson, and that was on Cadet. Oh yeah, they're both on Cadet. Cadet was a subsidiary, wasn't it, of Chess Records, so that's cool. I mean, it's not over the moon good stuff, but it's pretty cool. It's a nice bit of booty on the back there too, isn't it? And then I thought I should get some blues, So I found this one, and this one here, I was quite familiar with this because I had borrowed it from the Christchurch City Library many years ago, and it's he's a harmonica player, and he's also got some tracks here with Louisiana Red on guitar. Yeah, this is nice. And interestingly enough, this is released on Ode Records, New Zealand label. So this is from 1975. Originally it's a Blue Label Records from the US, and this is Ode 146 from 1975. Not sure how it got such a big number from 1975. Very interesting. It's in mint condition. I mean, the cover just looks like it's fresh out of the... Yeah, I'm not sure what's... I don't think it's a reissue as such, but anyway. And then this one here is another one which I had borrowed from Christchurch City Library many years ago, and I put it on tape. Newport Compilation double album from 1976 again, and there's like Robert Pete Williams, Sonny Terry, Brownie McGee. The John Lee Hooker tracks alone are worth the price of admission. That's just stunning. Mississippi John Hurt, Skip James, Gary Davis, Reverend Gary Davis, Lightning Hopkins, Sun House, I mean, and a few others. Yeah, this is so cool. I mean, and yeah, I remember this because of the John Lee Hooker tracks. There's Tupelo and Bus Station Blues are both absolutely stand out, really stand out tracks. Gatefold, a bunch of advertising for all the other records they were releasing at the time. Yep, so really pleased to have that. And then finally from this bunch, this one I picked up. Now this is a band from, I think again from Canada, I think, yeah, and 1977. So again, this was one that I had found on a blog and downloaded and reviewed on my blog a few years ago, and I actually went back. I saw it in the shop and I thought that looked familiar, and I grabbed it. I think I paid $10 for it. It's in good nick. I mean, the cover's got a few small wrinkles, but it's actually an original $2 price tag on it there. So it's actually a vertical swirl. There's a vertigo swirl up in the top corner there. Marketed in New Zealand by Polygrams. This is a New Zealand issue, and it was listed on Discogs as prog rock, but it's pretty. It's nice. It's got some nice guitaring on it. I mean, I only rated it about 2.5 stars on my review out of 5, so I wasn't hugely impressed with it, but impressed enough that I'm actually pleased I've got it. I actually quite like that I've got it, and it's got some interesting moments. So, you know, I wouldn't say it's one I'll stick on a huge amount, but I'm glad I've got it. So that's that was all the procurements from the local record emporiums over the last week, and that's certainly enough to keep me busy for a while. And I've still got another video to make because I've got a whole bunch of other things that I need to show that have arrived in the mail, so I'll be doing that soon, and then these will all get posted up one at a time. So thank you for watching again, and Uncle Roddus here, over and out. See you again soon.